Michael and Don here from Kids Are Talking. Just giving you guys a heads up on our show coming up this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We're talking with kids about back to school in the post-COVID world. We've got, we have? 3 panelists coming in, returning veteran panelists. Some of our fan favorites are coming back to tell us how they feel entering transitioning from middle school to high school, from virtual to in-person, from high school to college. And it's going to be a good discussion. And I think there's a lot of concerns. Everybody has lots of concerns. The world is unpredictable and unstable right now. But we'll look forward to see what everybody has to say.
Well, I think what's exciting about the show, Mike, is that we have had 10 shows, and this is the end of our first season. And we have three kids that we think have been true leaders and co-stars through the first 10 shows. They've been on more than once, and we think that it's a great way to evaluate and close out the first season. One, because as Mike just said, we have different aspects of kids going back to school, different stories behind each one of these kids. But the other thing is, it'd be great, this is a treat for all of us, to have these kids reflect on what it's been like for them beginning of the summer during the COVID and post-COVID world that I'm calling it. Where were they before they came on Kids Are Talking? What have they learned? Where are they heading this fall? We have all these things going on now with the vaccinations, the Afghanistanian situation. We have a very anxious America. I'm a product of the 60s where we had the assassinations and we had Vietnam, and now we have all this other stuff. And is there a positive spin for these kids, something to feel positive about as they move into the fall of the post-COVID world, going back to school? Fall is always a time of something new and transition. I think it's the biggest transition of the year.
I think fall, the first few weeks of school, that's one of the most anxiety-inducing periods of time for any kid in every grade. So I think the COVID issues and the like you said, the Afghan issues and wartime issues. I mean, these are only making things harder for kids.
Exactly. So the stresses and anxieties, and also a chance to really get a bird's eye view into what these kids learned on our show. What were the things that resonated for them the most in terms of the first 10 shows we did this year? They were not on all 10, but the ones they were on. Are they in a different place from where they were when they started with us this summer? These 3 kids,
I think they've each been on at least 3 or 4 shows each.
Yeah, they kind of know each other now. There's just familiarity. So this show is going to have we have a lot of opportunity to see a lot of different pieces. So it's a great end of the season.
Well, I find
great end of the season for
us. As our panelists come on more and more shows, we're slowly peeling back the layers of the onion, and we're really, I think, each show they open up a little bit more. Each show we learn a little bit more insight, and they become more and more articulate about really what's going on behind the scenes. Because a lot of us grown-ups, I'll use the quotes, grown-ups, don't really understand what's going on.
And is there a positive spin for these kids going into the fall of 2021? Because like I said, in my era, it was the Woodstock generation. It was the assassinations of Martin Luther King, Robert Kennedy, JFK, the Vietnam War. And we survived. We found a way to cope and survive. So how are these kids coping and surviving? These are the kinds of questions that I'm going to ask them, and you're going to get to hear. And I'm really looking forward to it as we round out the end of our first season. And then we'll be starting a new season next week. And it's exciting. We've all learned a lot. And now let's hear what the kids have learned. So I'm pretty much ready to say, let's go to Thursday night now and see what we're going to hear. Back to school.
Yeah, tune in Thursday, and we invite everybody to set your calendar reminders, because we want to hear your questions. So please, during the show, submit them, and if you want, put your questions in the comment of this video, and we'll address them on the live stream tomorrow. And you can watch the replay if you're not able to tune in live. So,
and by the way, do not miss Mike's archive shows. If you go to our website, he has done an amazing job at finding shows from the year 2000, radio shows that we did that I've been really enjoying listening to. That's an extra bonus for you. There they are. They're the cassettes.
Who knew?
Who knew? These radio shows, cassettes. Who knew that Mike Budd would be able to put these out there.
So
And
for all those
really,
kids, this is magnetic. So you can't actually listen to it.
And-
You have to
and listen
convert
to
it.
And you know what's crazy? When I listen to them, actually, they're not that different. I mean, time has gone on 23 years later, and
We've had a couple shows that there was an overlap or relevance from a new show, and the kids from 20 years ago were talking about the same exact things that the kids are talking about today. Nothing is outdated. Kids constantly are going through the same issues. Let's try to use this show as a platform to give kids the tools, because I don't think the issues are going to disappear, but what we're trying to do is give kids more tools to deal with the issues and make it less stressful and have them be more successful.
don't miss Thursday night, because it's a true reunion closing of the first season show. It's very special, very sexy, exciting to learn from the kids and hear their stories as they go into the fall of 2021.
We'll see you Thursday.
See you Thursday.
Kids are talking.
Kids are talking, Mike.